If you all don't know, I grew up in the hood. So why is this relevant to today's video? Well, I recently met an amazing woman named Fahtima. She's created a farmer's market about 5 minutes from my childhood home in the heart of North St. Louis, and she's also bought property in this area. Her vision is to build a cafe as well as a shared workspace for local artisans. Now, we have a few business incubators here in St. Louis, but
say it again. It's usually built for who?
Technical, professional, white men. That's who it's geared for.
You can see why what she's doing is so important to the growth and exposure of artists, vendors, and businesses of color here in St. Louis. The area where her farmers market is located can definitely be considered a food desert. It's no secret that a lot of urban communities around the U.S. have a lack of affordable fresh fruits and vegetables. She's not only filling that void, right, of having health that's accessible to us, but she's also creating space. So what does that mean? She is giving her community access to a space where they can create, where they can support local farmers, where they can support local businesses in their own area instead of commuting to other areas, which takes money out of their local economy. I know this video is different from the content that I usually post, but I wanted to highlight an amazing woman. She's inspiring, she's a visionary, and she's very hardworking. In this video, we're going to discuss some tips on how to start your own business, how to engage with your own community, as well as just learning about how Fahtima got to this point. Now, when we're on our spiritual journey, a lot of us think, oh, this world is a mess. I don't want to deal with people. People suck. I just want to transcend. And, that's true to a certain extent. But also in us transcending and catching all that energy, right? We need to bring that back down to earth, share that with others, and help others to lift up their spirits, right? Help others to transcend as well. So I really felt connected to Fahtima, not only because she is in the area where I grew up, but also because I feel like she is definitely led by spirit. She's definitely led by God to do her work. And she came back down here to us, and now she is showing us, like, look, you can have this space. You can do what you want to do. You can be an artist. You can be in your own community. Like, we can all be together and we can create something really big here. So I definitely want to support her. If you all feel compelled to, please donate to the Be Well Cafe. I have information listed down below. And if you live in St. Louis, definitely follow her on Instagram so you can get information on upcoming events. All right, you all. Hope you enjoy this video. Peace.
So y'all got that space.
Yes, that space is actually going to be where the farmers market is going to be once we get everything completed. It will have a community sitting space. It'll have chess boards opportunities. The food truck park will be over there. It will have a place for artists to display their creativity there as well. The building behind this building where the cafe is, will be where the co-working space is located.
And about how many spaces do you think, you think will be in there? About how many artists you think can be in there?
Probably 8 to 10. Originally it was going to be a lot more, but we did away with any of the open seating and just made it all private spaces.
Okay.
We will have 2 apartments, 2 two-story townhomes here, and 2 two-story townhomes in the back. So we'll have a total of 4 units available for rent. So you can live, work, and eat all in the same space. So this will be a community within a community. One of the first things that we did was start the neighborhood association because the neighborhood had no voice.
So you started the neighborhood association?
Absolutely.
Wow.
There was no voice and people had given their power away. I got so tired of people saying, well, the alderman said, or the alderman said, and it's like, we direct the alder person. You guys have given your power away. So the first thing we did was organize people to regain the power and the control of this board so that we can better support, educate, and guide the alder person. So even with that, there have been so many gripes about things that have gone wrong in the community. But when I talk to people and I say, do you vote? Did you go? Have you been to a community meeting? Have you been to an automatic meeting? And the answer is no, 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 no. Then I fault you for not being on your post and doing what you could do to make things better. If that means picking up the phone and calling the Citizen Service Bureau to report a complaint and then staying on that complaint to make sure that it's justified, then that's what we have to do. Everything is not black and white. Some of this we are accountable for, and booting up, taking charge of our community and ourselves is where we ought to be today. And I'm hoping to be an example so that people are watching what I do and not what I say.
Okay, we watching you.
We ought to, or can we? And it's like, so you have this great idea. What can I write you down for? Well, I just don't have time to do a lot of meetings. And it's like, that's what it's going to take, your voice. It can't just be Fahtima, Fahtima, Fahtima. People have to hear from masses of people. So when you say, well, things that I request get done, that's because I requested. You're not even requesting. You're just accepting.
So how do you feel like in other areas, other communities, people just watching this, how do you feel like they can go about starting anything in their community?
Just do it. It's that simple. I don't want to hear about a business plan. I don't want to hear I got to make a little more money on my job. I got to get this cush before I can really make a move, or I don't know if people are ready. And just do it. We can overthink ourselves out of our blessings. We do it all the time. Yes, because timing is everything. When it's on your heart, it's your time. That window doesn't stay open forever. You have to move on it and listen. Take the time to listen to yourself, because your own self will guide you if you're listening and tuning in. Remove the fear. I always tell people, feel the fear, but do it anyway. How often have you sat up and said, I think I want to come to the farmer's market. But it's raining, or it's too hot. There's a blessing that could have been waiting for you, but you missed that because there was one obstacle that stopped you from making that transition.
Right.
And that's what happens in business so much. People will tell me, I really wanted to do this salon, but I went to try and get a loan. They told me I couldn't get a loan. I had to get a business plan. And so you just throw your hands up in the air. Okay, so how about thinking of other ways instead of just, I'm at this wall and I'm just going to stop and stand here, or you're going to pivot to the right or to the left, make it about face, because there are all kind of opportunities around us. But we just get so discouraged by the first obstacle. So just do it. Just keep moving. If this doesn't work, that whole plan may be a wash. But that plan could have gotten you on the threshold for the real plan, but you never get there because you let one obstacle stop.
Mm-hmm.
You got to keep moving.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And so what has helped you to keep moving? It's just you trust your vision, you have confidence in it, or you just feel like this is on my heart, this is what I have to do? What is it? Like, what are you?
Threefold. Number one, I'm guided by the Creator. Number two, it's who I am. I am a helper of people. That's what my name means. Number three, I love my people. And anybody else that comes into that gate, that's wonderful. But my folk, that's who I love. So it's almost like a mother nurturing a child. What can I do? You don't throw your hands up at your children. You keep working. You keep helping. You keep supporting. You keep doing. All three of those things together is what builds a community. Because when I was coming up as a child, I'm sure people have heard this story. I could do something 8 blocks away. By the time I got home, my mother knew about it, because you had a community of folks that helped to raise you, that protected you, that nurtured you, that supported you in that community. That has been lost. That has been lost, and those are the things that we've got to bring back.
Instead of mourning what was, you can still create it because it was created in some way.
Absolutely.
So you can make it come back, or even better with the times that we in.
Stop looking at what's across the street as that being better, and by that I mean the county. I got so discouraged with people that would say, oh, well, you know, I live in the county now and I don't have those problems. Well, those couple of problems that come from the county. Number one, you're in subdivisions. Those are not neighborhoods. You might wave at your neighbor. Generally, you don't even know their name. Your children aren't going to a school that's in their neighborhood. They're being bused, you know, out. Even in the suburbs, they're still being bused because they're over a mile away from their schools. So you have that lack of connection. Nobody knows anybody. You don't have police officers that used to know your name, you knew them. Your teachers, your religious leaders, they lived in the neighborhood where they served. Now, when you go to a church that's in your neighborhood or to a mosque or a synagogue, the people that live in the neighborhood aren't attending there. Those are people from outside of the neighborhood. So that's why you get no support, because nobody is in the neighborhood supporting it that lives there. So all of those things are a prerequisite of a stable community, and it's been lost. And directing folks to the county was that first period. Buy one of those cardboard box houses. Houses here are 3 layers of old St. Louis brick. That's why they're still standing after 180 years. You know, so it's about coming back to your roots and not thinking that what's on the other side of the street, that water is cooler, the grass is greener, the food is fresher. All of that could be right here, but it starts with us. It starts with us coming back and making a change.
Wow.
What Fahtima just said really hit home. I currently live about 15 minutes from where her market is right now, and I can't help but feel like I want to move back to the city, but I think, you know what, it's not that safe. There's not a lot to do as far as like in my actual area. What about the schools? Things like that. But I can continue to make excuses, or I could create solutions. I could support people like her. I could still support local businesses in the city to help build it up and eventually buy a home in the city. Let me know in the comment section, do you feel like this is common in your area, that people are moving out of the city? Do you want to move back into your local city and support your local economy? Let me know. I'm really interested to know how things are outside of St. Louis.
This for myself, by the way. As far as, you know, with entrepreneur, you literally, they say you're always wearing all these different hats. Like, what are some ways that you just find to focus your energy? Just to be like, okay, I know I got all this going on. Like, what do I focus on?
Well, it's interesting that you asked that, because my children call me the Jamaican entrepreneur. I call myself a serial social entrepreneur. We have so many innate talents within us. So first of all, don't think that you just have one talent, because you don't. You have several of them. But whatever talent that is that speaks to you, that gives your heart joy. I always tell people, I don't work. And they're like, Fahtima, what do you mean? You're at the market, you're doing this building. That's not work. That's my passion. That's me. When you're doing what you love, it's not work. When it stops being something that you love, now you're working. So the first thing is really tap into yourself. That means disconnect yourself from social media, spend some time with yourself. What is it that you enjoy doing? Is it baking? Is it creating jewelry? Is it, being a painter? What is it that gives you joy? And then hone into that, and know that beyond that, if other people have made a living from whatever that joy is, See yourself there. That's one of the first things I would say to somebody. Hone in, figure out what are those things that you enjoy, and see yourself doing it. And then do the due diligence of doing some research to learn about it. Don't let a degree hinder you. I mean, certain things, yeah, you got to have some paper to be a doctor and a lawyer and all of that. But even with that, if that's something that speaks to you, do your due diligence and do the research, because there are obstacles, again, that can stop you from doing what you want to do. So hone in, figure out what those things are, what speaks to you, do your due diligence, and then just do it.
So the biggest thing is you got to take action.
You got to take action. You don't know how many times people have come to me. I owned a boutique in the Central West End called In Stages. And women would walk in and they say, oh my God, I just love your boutique. It's so unique. And they would say, do you know who the owner is? And I'd say, that would be me. And they'd be like, oh my gosh, how did you get started? I would love to own a boutique, but I just don't know where to get started. And so, can you tell me how you got started? Well, sure, I can tell you that. But what is your vision? You love this boutique, but do you like clothes? That's why I opened boutique. It helped to satisfy that shopping desire that I had. And I don't wear ordinary clothes, and so I don't do malls.
She ain't basic, honey. That's what she's telling y'all. Say, I'm beyond basic.
Yeah, so I was like, I got to do something, because I like to be cute, and nobody has anything that's cute to me, so that was what I did. And so when people ask me, how do you do that? Then you're speaking to my passion. I want to hear about your passion. I may even point out to somebody that says, I want to open a business. I just don't know what. I just know I want to own a business. Okay, first of all, we got to do a lot of work with you, because you don't know what you want to do. So that's kind of difficult.
And I think right now also, it's at least with my generation, or people in general, like a lot of things you see a lot of people on social media doing stuff. So it has really, really, really created a culture of comparison, or you feel like so many people are doing what I want to do. Why should I even go about doing it?
Absolutely. Remember I talked about obstacles? One of the first things when I was pitching my vision was, oh my God, the place is just inundated with co-working spaces. And, Fahtima, you might want to look at something different. There are incubators all over the city. Yes, there are, but how many of them speak to Black and brown creative entrepreneurs? How many of them are located on the other side of the north side of Delmar? How many of them will be at such a grandiose scale that not only are they for Black and brown creatives, but everybody will want to come to this location. So it could be another co-working space right down the street, just like with my boutique. The key was I wanted to have competition, because competition brings customers. Who comes to a place that has one restaurant in the vicinity? What if you don't like that food? Now you've driven, could be 30 minutes to get there. They're closed. You don't have any other options. So righteous competitions is a way that each business supports each other. So don't be afraid if there's a market of folks. What is your niche? Find out what makes you unique. What is special? What would make people want to come to see Fahtima? Is it just the ambiance? Is it the food? Is it the location? What is it that is your niche? And once you figure that out, soar. Invite others.
And part of that, I think, piggybacks off of what you said earlier about you really have to take some time to yourself and just stew in your own juices, if you will.
Absolutely. And once you find out your business, what your business looks like, then start to envision your customer and develop a customer persona, and give that persona, is it a he, is it a she, is it a they? So now you're really talking. You know, the customer that I want to attract will be athletic, health conscious, spiritually connected, earthy. Start creating what that customer will look like. That will trigger you to maneuver your business to fit the customer. Don't let the customer come and fit you. Again, back to my boutique, ladies, unique, bohemian style, eclectic, and people would walk in and they'd look at all of the dresses and the scarves and they'd say, "Do you have jeans?" And I said, "No, ma'am. What is it about this space that would make you think that I carry it?" And they said, "Oh, well, you know, if you had jeans, I would come back." I said, "Well, the boutique down on the corner has all kind of jeans and t-shirts, and that's how we support each other. So we want to make sure that everybody is able to shop in this district." Instead of, I could have said, "Oh my God, I had 2 people that came and asked me for jeans, so I'm going to grasp for that little $2 or $3 and put these jeans in there and never see them again." Stay focused on your niche and your customer base, and don't get frantic for everybody's money. It's yours. What's yours is yours.
That is so important. I think that's because it keeps you having integrity with what it is that you're creating, and not bending and, you know, with the wind with everybody, not flying in the wind.
Just grasping. I'm just grasping. I just want to make some money. You know, if you don't have the passion, the compassion to do what you do and love what you do, then you're just grasping. Now you just want to make money. And hey, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. That doesn't work for me, because now again we're back to work, and I don't work.
No, I think that makes a lot of sense, especially because it helps you to think more long term. I know I don't want to sell jeans long term, but if I just wanted to do it just to make a few dollars, I would do it. But since you had a long term vision, or you had a bigger vision than just grabbing a dollar, it helped you to really stay grounded in what you were creating.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I knew that. I knew how to dress a woman. I knew how to put her in an after 5 or in a sundress so she could go to Kentucky Derby. That, I know how to do that. I know how to wrap her hair in an African garb. I know how to do all those things. I don't wear jeans because I don't wear them well. So I couldn't see myself even selling them. So again, that was not my niche. That was not something I enjoyed. And I didn't have the knowledge base for that. So I stayed in my lane, as the young folks said. Stayed in my lane.
That's good.
I would just like to say, I would invite any and all people to come by the Be Well Cafe Farmers Market, watch the progress of the rehab of the building. I want to make sure that folks chronicleize everything that's going on here, so that 5 years from now, when this area is not going to look anything the way it's looking now, you can say, I was a part of this. Come by, either make a donation on our website. You can come by and support us by purchasing goods, but be a part of the change. Be a part and involved in what's going on in your city. And though you may not live here, people live here, and people are deserving of a better community. They're deserving of access to fresh, affordable food. They're deserving of affordable and beautiful apartments. They're deserving of businesses in the community that speaks to their culture. We all deserve that. Those are basic rights. What are you doing to bring about a change? Are you just throwing your hands up and moving to the other side of town? Are you booting up and making a change? Let's make some change. Come by, support us at the Be Well Cafe, 2027 Salisbury, here in the Hyde Park neighborhood. Be sure to pay attention to what's going on with Apiary at the park. And as well, our farmers market is here every Saturday from 10 to 2. Look at all this traffic coming up and down on a Saturday afternoon. So look into this area and see where you could see yourself fitting in. We have the incubator space for you to get ready if you're not ready for a brick and mortar for your own business. Hey, we got spaces for you to rent here and actually get your business up and off the ground till you're able to level up. Many of us now have found out we don't need a brick and mortar. Again, those are things that keep us from making that next step, because if you're doing hair, for example, and you only do 3 heads a week, why are you paying for a whole year or 90 days lease when you can do incubator space? So there are several ways that you can show your support. I hope you will. I'm Fahtima Muhammad. Be well, be safe.